Eddie Murphy's name out your mouth. Keep Eddie Murphy's name. Keep the comedian. Eddie Murphy's, I don't even know why I'm saying the comedian. Keep superstar, icon. Keep his name out of your mouth. I will explain. Oh, I'd say I'm reasonable. Okay, that's completely unreasonable. I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate. Fitting, suitable, logical. All things I would definitely say describe me. Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable. Hey, welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. Thank you for showing up and tuning into this. For my returning reasons, thank you. You know, I always appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for keeping the conversation going in the chat. Thank you for correcting me when I'm wrong. Thank you for shutting people down when they trying to conflate and confuse what I'm saying. Thank you for telling somebody to listen and watch this podcast. I appreciate you guys so much. First timers, welcome. Be reasonable. And be reasonable, okay? You heard the intro. I gave you all them synonyms, practical, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the rest of them are. Yes, them is my words. I should know them. Girl, who are you, Kelly Rowland, for getting the words to your song? Shut up. You better shut your mouth. Okay, first and foremost, I have been making dua. I mean, I'm always praying for oppressed people in the world, oppressed situations. You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to stay abreast of injustices on a global level. It's very hard and it can be very depressing and it can feel very powerless and frustrating and just sad and, you know, all of that. But I do try to be a little bit aware because I really, you know, like to include people who are suffering. I like to include them in my du'as, my prayers. And yeah, so I have been praying for all the people in Jamaica, whether you live there, you're vacationing there, working there, because, you know, Hurricane Melissa's ass, she over there being a Category 5 for what? Melissa, you didn't have nothing else to do? It's so many other places that are in need of water, droughts and everything, and here you come and going to the Caribbean, going to Haiti, Jamaica, parts of Cuba, some of Florida, and wrecking havoc. Why, girl? Why you got to be like that? Do we got to get you a man, Melissa? Or I'm progressive. Do we got to get you a woman? Are you a part of the LBGTQ? Those are not the letters. I have not said the letters in a very long time, and I don't know why. LGBT. Are you a part of the rainbow community, Melissa? Because I'd rather get you chose up than have you messing up people's lives and homes on the beautiful island of Jamaica. I'm so sorry. Although I really hope that it's not as bad as they're predicting. I know like it's in motion right now, and I just really hope that it's not as bad as they are predicting. I'd also like to take a moment to thank all of the federal workers. Again, I know I talked about it on last week's episode, but I want to thank the federal workers, the air traffic controllers, the TSA people, the tower builders, and any and every other position that is affected by the federal shutdown that maybe isn't known or publicized in the same way that like operations at the airport are, you know, because ain't nothing worse than going on vacation to the beautiful island of Jamaica, having your vacation dismantled by a hurricane, then be stranded there. And not like it's fine to be stranded somewhere and they got all the amenities that the vacation was providing, but no, you're stranded somewhere that is under like emergency orders. Do you get what I'm saying? and you stranded there for a week, and then finally you get to go back home. You know you were supposed to be back home a week ago because you wasn't even supposed to be in Jamaica in the first place. So you done missed a week of work because of Melissa as well, because of Hurricane Melissa. And then finally you get to fly back, or you try to fly back, and your flight either can't take off or you can't land because the government is basically holding employees' paychecks in a bullying attempt to get a bill passed that is not going to service the people of this country anyway. I mean, listen. Of course, there are things worse. Of course, there are things much worse. But y'all know what I mean. Also, I want to officially apologize for every single attempt at a Jamaican accent. I'm so sorry. I do really wish that I could get one like authentically though, because me want to talk like you. That almost sounded like a bit Thai. That sounded like I was trying to be Jamaican. I just came back from Thailand, and I also might be hearing impaired, right? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. You want to know what's crazy though? I just thought about this. You don't really get in trouble for trying to do a Jamaican accent. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody could get on TV and be like, me ear, now me dear, me ear and me dear. Cancel the whole show. Cancel the whole show. I'm sorry, y'all. But it is true though, right? Like ain't nobody about to cancel me for this. I mean, I hope. Ain't nobody about to cancel. If anything, y'all are throwing y'all phone down somewhere. Y'all done shut your laptop and you about to open it back up. You get what I'm saying? You done walked away from the TV if you streaming this on your TV. You know what I'm saying? You shaking your head looking at me like if she wasn't so reasonable and if I didn't like this new wig she got on so much, we had to cancel her, but we gonna let her live. But if she say ear and dear one more time, you can't be ear and be near and dear to my art. But I just noticed like all my, people just be hopping in and out of a Jamaican accent, good or bad, and don't nobody be like, you being racist, even remember when Tom Hanks' son was like, Chet Hanks was like,
big up the youth them way out of Kingston. Me wake up this morning and me see the thing turn up. Internet gone mad. Respect, you don't know. The soon forward a yard. Booyaka, booyaka.
I don't even know what he be talking about. But remember he did the accent, and remember them two little boys in the pool, them little white boys in the pool did the accent. They was like, me, I'm an island boy. Remember her? I mean, sure, it was funny because they was looking like Criss Cross. They was looking like white Jamaican Criss Cross. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was like, you know what? Enough is enough. But if I was up here, if the last 5 minutes was me imitating a Chinese accent, and I'm not saying that it should be possible to do, I'm just saying, I'm not even saying I want to do it. When I was in Boston at that show, I was telling him to do a baby voice on a date. And I was like, well, he was Asian, right? And I didn't know which one specifically. And so I was like, he was like, oh, I'm Chinese. And I was like, oh, okay, so what do you speak? You speak Mandarin? No, he said I speak Mandarin, and I believe he said Cantonese. And I was like, oh, okay, so you got to be like, I can't even do it again. Chia. I can't even do it right. But in a moment, my little time in China showed up for me, okay? Because I was giving him life, all right? Anyway, but yeah, if the past 5 minutes was me on here doing a Chinese, especially a bad, because it's going to be bad, a bad Chinese outfit, a bad Chinese accent, they releasing the tape the night before I host SNL. The night before, I'm announcing SNL. I'm announcing Zainab Johnson is hosting SNL. We going crazy. The Reasons got on their t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? We been here. We ain't new to this. We true to this, right? I'm going to be practicing, writing sketches, getting my outfit, doing all of that, working on my monologue, going to all the comedy clubs, running my monologue set. Right Friday night. They like, Zainab, get a good night's rest because tomorrow, Friday night, right before I lay down, I get a Google alert on my phone. Zainab Johnson mocks Chinese accent. And now I am trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my mortgage. I love you, Jamaica. There's a new musical. There is a new musical on Broadway. There's a new musical on Broadway. It's about Obama. Have you guys heard of it? It's called 44 the Musical. Now, here's my only issue with it. It's a musical. It's a musical. I was like, nah, I don't think, as much as y'all know, I be like, what they doing over here with the Obamas? You know what I'm saying? I really be like, I don't think I have seen enough Obama's stories. You know what I'm saying? I be like, what's the tea, right? But I don't think I could. They just gonna be singing songs I never heard before. But then I read the synopsis because, you know, I try my best to be reasonable. And I was like, so you just going to see 44 the musical and you just going to decide you might be missing out on something. What if somebody did that to you? Aren't you in the arts? What if somebody was like, she telling black Muslim girls telling no, I'm good. Like, so I go to the synopsis, low key, y'all. It sound like it's good. I'm gonna read it to y'all. 44. I would play the trailer, but I don't want them to flag this video. Because even the trailer I liked. Barack Obama's election changed history. And as we can clearly see, it also ended racism forever. See, already, first line, sarcasm. First line, comedy. You know what I'm saying? They already know. Here's the thing. You coming to see this show, don't take it too serious. We're having fun. We're talking about the Obama presidency, and we're singing. Okay? So all of that, you over here wondering what this show is going to be like. Come with good energy, be reasonable, and a good time, okay? What Fantasia say? We not here for a long time. We here for a good time, okay? So get your fans or get your boots. But 44 the musical is the story of Obama you won't read about in history books, because history books are now banned in most states. See, humor. But also because 44 is the story of Obama as Joe Biden kind of remembers it, and everybody know he can't really remember that much. So this is I'm going to see it. They won me over. Because why would you write that? But also because 44 is the story of Obama as Joe Biden kind of sort of remembers it. Y'all got me laughing, and I didn't even hear a song or buy a ticket yet. I'm going to the show. 44 is a melting pot of music that delivers everything. They not even paying me, y'all. This sound like an ad, right? They not even paying me. Let's get a group together. Who wants to go to New York and see 44 the musical? It's a limited run. It's not going to be here forever. Again, Fantasia, not a long time, a good time, okay? Reasons, are we going to see 44 the musical? 44 is a melting pot of music that delivers everything you'd come to expect from a musical about the Obama era. Sarah Palin screaming, singing, drill me, baby, like Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know that reference. President Obama crooning, how black is too black. Now that sound, I don't know what you know what I'm saying, what the instrumentation gonna be like, but the title funny. Over a smooth Motown groove. Well, I do like Motown. And of course, filibusters. It's in quotes, so that must also be a song title. It is. Filibusters is a hardcore hip hop jam where Mitch McConnell. A hardcore hip hop jam. Oh no, Filibusters is its own separate song. And then there's a hardcore hip hop jam where Mitch McConnell. See, this is what I was afraid of, because it's like right when I be having fun with the Obamas, it's like then we got to deal with Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz. See, you always got to take the bad with the good, you know. A hardcore hip hop jam where Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz rap Green Eggs and Ham in its entirety. The political world is buzzing about 44. Barack Obama explains. Now, here's the quotes. I don't know if these is true or not. Barack Obama explains, of all the musicals about my presidency, this is one of them. Alex Jones, I don't know who that is. Alex Jones raves, the radical left, deep state, white, woke, or globalist cabal has done it again. And Bill Clinton moans. See, you see the comedy, y'all. You see the comedy, because we know why Bill Clinton is moaning. We know why William is moaning. Although he should be up there playing the saxophone, right? Okay, Bill Clinton moans, I came, I saw, I came. Comedy! You know, I started the beginning of this saying, I don't know. I'm for sure going to see 44 the musical. For sure. Also, it stars Shanice. I like your smile. I believe that was the first song I ever heard in my life. Okay, it wasn't the first song I ever heard in my life. I believe the earliest memory of music that I have, y'all gonna think this is crazy, but the earliest memory of music that I have, the first song that I ever remember hearing, it was Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. And yeah, that's the earliest memory that I have of hearing a song, Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. And then Shanice, I Like Your Smile. And then the first album I ever heard in my life was one day I was at my grandparents' house. And, you know, my grandparents had one of them. They lived in Brooklyn. It was a 3-bedroom apartment, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, right? And they had that type of apartment. As much as there was just my grandparents living there, so we was just there for, I don't know, the day, I guess. My grandparents, you know, they had one of them apartments where everything is happening at the same time. You know what I'm saying? The radio was on in the bathroom. Wheel of Fortune is on the TV. The big stereo system is playing in the living room. Somebody playing cards. Somebody playing dominoes. Every time my grandma walk in and out the kitchen, she got them beads hanging from the doorway. So you hear every time she walk in and out the kitchen because the beads. It's a lot happening. But I remember hearing What's the 411 was playing Mary J. Blige. Y'all, like a baby. Not a baby, but you know what I'm saying? Very, very young. What's the 411? And I was like, what is this? And I remember I looked at the CD like, we don't got this at my house. People be asking me like, what music did you grow up on? I'm like, yo, it wasn't until I was able to get like my own, like, you know what I'm saying, CD player. And then eventually I got like an MP3 player and then obviously an iPod. I was like, that's when I started listening to like music on my own. But like, my parents, we ain't had that type of household where you just wake up to Anita Baker. I know that is a lot of people's experience. I have been told. I never experienced that. I used to walk my neighbor's dog. It was an old lady. She lived in an apartment below us. I used to walk her dog for her way, way back when I was like young, and just around the block. You know what I'm saying? I used to do it for a job. I think she used to pay me $1. And she had like an old record player. And then I just was like, what is this? One day I was at her house because I would take the dog back to the house and I would just, you know, I got so many siblings. Sometimes when I would be at her house just by myself, like making sure she was good in her room, and then I would just be at her house. It's like, yeah, because I don't never get time to myself. So I'm going to be downstairs. I'm purposely not saying her name on purpose because I don't have her family's permission. I know she's deceased now, but I don't have her family's permission to be just saying her name out there. But her granddaughter used to come into town on Sundays and always try to get me to eat pickled pig feet. And I told y'all about her. Always trying to get me to eat pickled pig feet. And I said, girl, you have to let it go. You have to let it go. Anywho, it was on her record player. And I hope I didn't destroy her record player because I did not know what I was doing. But that's the first time I heard a Temptations album. And I was like, who are these people? They sound like the 5 Heartbeats. Then I had to, you know what I'm saying? It took me a while to cross connect. Anywho, I'm way, way off topic. Shanice is also married to, with Shanice, what I was basically trying to say is Shanice was like that girl in the 90s. In like the early 90s, I think, Shanice was like that girl. She's married to the comedian Flex Alexander, who at one point was definitely that guy. Remember, he was originally Maya's husband on a pilot of The Girlfriends. He had his own show with Kyla Pratt, One-on-One. Flex used to be like, I think he used to do like host like Flex was a big deal, but also one of the nicest comedians I have ever met and worked with in my life. Truly, truly such a nice and polite man and very good energy. Real, just good, warm is not the word, but just good-natured energy. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, I might see it. I'm going to see it. It's decided. I'm going to see it. Did y'all see this motorist, this police chase? It was a police chase. It was in California. Not too far, like pretty far. Not meaning closer to me than maybe where y'all listening from, but in Rancho Cucamonga, I think. Basically, there was a suspect, and I think a suspect in some sort of investigation, right? An alleged suspect in some sort of investigation. And I guess they went to an address to like investigate, and people started shooting, and one of the deputy officers or sheriffs got shot. And I'm not sure what the condition of that deputy officer sheriff is, but when that happened, the person on the motorcycle, they got on the motorcycle and dipped, and then the police followed him, and it became just this high speed chase that they showing on the news, like in the past 24 hours, been showing on the news. And I mean, this guy is going 120 miles an hour, 140 miles an hour on a motorcycle. Some of us ain't never even reached those speeds in a car on a motorcycle during the day with other moving vehicles on the freeway. The cops is following him, trying to keep up. And I'm watching it because at some point he start doing something. He riding with no hands, y'all. And cause he trying to do something with the bag. He trying to take it off. He trying to do something with the bag. And I'm like, look at him. That must be Vin Diesel. That must be The Rock. Must be Tyrese. Must be Paul Walker. Must be the cute little Asian man who's in the movie. Was it Ludacris? Because that man is fast and furious. Then he crashed. And when they go to get, you see, it's like, oh no, that guy, that looked like an older man with a dad bod. I'm like, I was not expecting that. You know, movies always make you think criminals is fine. You know what I'm saying? Movies make you feel like, oh yeah. Of course I'm riding with the criminal because you see the criminal is 6'3", 200 pounds, all muscle. Like, yeah, I'm right. He got all this. You know what I'm saying? He all tan, he be in the sun racing. You know what I'm saying? Got tattoos. So yeah, I'm gonna be with the criminal because movies make it look good. But this criminal, I was like, or alleged criminal. I have no idea this man's story yet. Forgive me. But I was like, I was quite surprised. Now, y'all getting, I ain't body shaming the man, but I was just surprised because the way he was balancing, go like 70, 80 miles an hour, not using no hands on a motorcycle while you know the police is on your ass. I thought for sure he was going to have abs but you know what? Anyway, it didn't end well. Okay, let's be reasonable. That's what this show is called after all, right? Let's be reasonable. Actually, no. There's a whole reason why I'm doing this episode. The whole reason I'm doing this episode, keep Eddie Murphy's name out your mouth. Keep Eddie Murphy's name. Keep the comedian. Eddie Murphy's, I don't even know why I'm saying the comedian. Keep superstar, icon. Keep his name out of your mouth. I will explain. This is a Halloween episode, is it? Boo. Actually, speaking of Halloween, I will be in Cleveland. This weekend. I will be in Cleveland this weekend at the Funny Bone in Cleveland. This Friday, October 31st, Halloween, boo. And Saturday, which is November 1st, which means y'all got paid. Well, maybe some of y'all did not get paid. You know what? If you in Cleveland and or around the surrounding areas, come see me if you got it. If you don't got it, I completely understand because it's crazy what's happening in this world. But also, if you are in Cleveland or anywhere close by, you can get to my show, but you ain't got the money for the ticket, please message me. Please message me and just reference this show. And I will gladly comp you. I will gladly comp you. Now, I cannot comp 300 people, but you furloughed, but you want to laugh. You showing up to work, and you ain't getting paid. You want to laugh. Like, please. And, of course, there's other situations. You know your situation. Hit me up. It ain't no reason why just because you ain't got a ticket fee, you can't laugh in Cleveland. Hit me up. Now, here's the thing. They are still going to charge you a 2-drink minimum because that's the club. Get that no matter what. You got to understand the comedy club is just a glorified restaurant with subpar food at best. No shade to my places of business. But that's really what it is. If we being real, you know what I'm saying? So they still going to ask you to patronize the bar and the kitchen and stuff because that is where they make their money. That is where they make their money. They don't make money off the comics tickets. We get the tickets. We get the ticket. So when I say you ain't got it, you want to come, you know what I'm saying? If you come to my show, you have a good old time and you got in for free and you like to keep doing that, just know you know what I'm saying? That's money is not coming from the club. That's the money that I don't get. The money that the club gets is when you buy the drink and when you buy the food. That is the money that the club gets. Just FYI. So they still gonna make you. So bring at least probably $10. You know what I'm saying? So at minimum you could buy 2 waters if you need to. You know what I'm saying? If it's tight like that, and then listen, if it's tight like that, and you like, I want to laugh, but I don't even got the 2 drinks. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna leave early if I could get tickets. I'm probably gonna have to walk myself to your venue because I don't even think I got the ride for the Uber. Hit me up. I will give you one of my waters out of my green room. And we will have a good old time, okay? It's no reason. We're not about to be in here not being miserable and sad and also going to work and not being paid or being furloughed and all. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's about to be winter. We're not doing that. Cleveland this weekend. Now, if you do want to buy a ticket, just scroll down to the details of this podcast, click the link, and of course, you can see my entire schedule if you just go to my website, ZainabJohnson.com. The link also is in the details of this podcast, but Zainab Johnson has all of my tour dates, all of my show dates, and I believe I've already started adding 2026 dates, so check it out. Also, subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff. If you got this point and you've been laughing and enjoying yourself and you ain't hit the subscribe button, are you reasonable? Ooh. It's late and I chose to put on a wig and some lip gloss for you. Okay, let me start from the beginning. And then I'm gonna just get up out of here. So this past weekend, it was such a good weekend. It was really a good weekend. I have been pretty busy lately. I've been doing a lot of traveling, both long hauls and shorter hauls in between those long hauls. And I have just been really, really like exhausted. And this week, my last road gig this past week was in Colorado. I went to Grand Junction, Colorado, which is like a college town. I went to do a college there. I had a great time with those kids and the people in Grand Junction, Colorado. Thank you so much for having me. Colorado Mesa University. And then I came back. I flew back in town Thursday morning and I opened up for Miguel. Miguel, the singer Miguel, Adorn. We know Miguel, right? And of course, we know Miguel. And Miguel's album came out last week. It's called Chaos, or if you want to say it in Spanish, Chaos. Chaos. But I opened for him. It was his album release party and his birthday, and I opened for him, and I had such a good time. It was basically like I just had such a good time, and then I was aware, oh my God, when I got home Thursday night, I got home a little after midnight, because y'all know they was like, you going to the party? I was like, no. Miguel was ready too. He was ready to party. He was like, it's my birthday. I'm going to the party. Y'all coming to the party? I was like, the way I can't wait to get in this bed. But I know for me, it's because it's like I just flew back in from Grand Junction at 5:00 this morning. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I woke up Friday like, oh my God, I'm home for the weekend. I had, of course, I had one actual local show, which was a charity for Japanese. It was like a Japanese fundraiser. And I had a great time at that show as well. But I just really had time to like just do life stuff, like fun life stuff. Like my friend was in town. I was like, he was like, I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's go to the movies Friday. He was like, you know what's crazy? I'm here and we have shows Thursday and Sunday, but I have Friday and Saturday off. And I'm like, yo, let's go to the movies. We went to the movies. We was eating all day, all night. Then I was like, yo, Saturday, let's go to Six Flags, right? I ain't been to Six Flags in like 10 years, y'all. I was like, let's go to Six Flags, right? And so Saturday, we wake up, we go eat, we go to Six Flags. And so we was waiting to get on the Wonder Woman roller coaster, right? Ooh, I'm sweating. We was waiting online to get on a Wonder Woman roller coaster. And at some point, right before we got right to the front of the line, the employees was like, hey, we're running some tests. Just so you know, we're shutting down the ride for a little while. Feel free to leave the line if you want, or you can come back. But we was right there. You know how you could see the seat you about to be on? So we was like, we not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere. I had already, it's the first roller coaster I've been on where you just sit by yourself. So I had already worked myself up to not be scared no more. And you talking about, yeah. I said, no, we'll wait. I gave us a time limit. I was like, okay, let's wait until this time. And if the ride keeps going. And I know y'all like, oh, Zainab, hold on a second. If they shut a ride down because they need to run tests and all of that, you ain't supposed to get on that ride. Shut up. Leave me alone. I am very intuitive. I'm very faithful. You know how much faith I have in Allah? Do you guys know how much faith I have in Allah? You think before I ain't get on that ride, I wasn't like, Allah, show me? Show me if I ain't supposed to be on this ride. And we got on the ride. They opened it up back like 10 minutes later, and I was talking to the girl, one of the employees, because, they be young. And she looked real young, so I had to ask her. I said, how old are you? And she was like, 18. That's how she said. You 18 when that's how you answer, 18. 18. I said, oh, okay. I would have said 14 or something. She was like, no, if you now I'm making a joke, right? I'm hoping ain't nobody running the rides that's 14. She wasn't running the ride. They got different positions. You know what I'm saying? She was just doing the lines, but she wasn't running the ride. But she was like, I was like, yeah, because you look like you 14. She was like, no, if I was 14, I would have had on a different badge. And I said, they be letting 14-year-olds work here? And she was like, yeah. I was like, but I got so serious. But they ain't working the rides, right? And she said, no. They doing like, like picking up the trash and stuff. I said, don't say it like that. That don't sound right. That don't sound like you cheating them right. But okay, they don't have any positions where they got a lot of power in their hand, like a lot of responsibility. She was like, no. But you'll see on their badge, their badge is a whole different color. It lets you know that they a certain age. I was like, good to know. Anyway, while they were testing the ride to make sure that it was in fact safe when we got on it, and let me tell y'all, when I got on it, I was screaming. Eyes closed, screaming the whole entire time. My friend was laughing at me. I was like, why? I was the only one. I never thought I would be this lady on a ride because 10 years ago, I was not like this. Every single roller coaster I was on, I was like, God. I was yelling, God, why, God? No, God. You know you owe when you start screaming for God on a roller coaster. And ain't nothing wrong with the roller coaster. I know them kids, because on the roller coaster, it be 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds, as long as they the height requirement, right? I know they was like, who over here acting like we in church? Anywho, while we waiting on the line, while we waiting for them to like let us know if the ride is going to open back up, my friend shows me this video. This video is comedian D.L. Hughley, legendary comedian D.L. Hughley. I guess he was a guest on a show. I have never seen this show or these interviews, but I am aware. Is Vlad the same person? No, that's academics. Because I'm like, who was the person that interviewed Kanye in the leather KKK outfit, the black leather KKK outfit? I never watched. I've heard people mention Vlad TV, but I have no experience with it. But I believe D.L. Hughley was doing a sit down on Vlad TV, and the person interviewing him played like audio from Cat Williams, and Cat Williams was basically saying why Eddie Murphy wasn't, like, when people say Eddie Murphy is their favorite comedian, why would like he hasn't done comedy in so long, like he can't be a favorite comedian. And then I'm paraphrasing right now, and then D.L. Hughley afterwards, after he kind of got on board with that same sentiment. And I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. The video pissed me off. The video was so the video was so unreasonable in my opinion. It was so unreasonable in my opinion. So unreasonable that it almost made me not do this podcast. And I don't mean this episode. I mean this podcast forever. Because I'm like, this is what happens when people talk too. Like when you gotta sit and talk every day. Then you're going to run out of stuff. You're going to run out of reasonable things to say. And eventually the shit that you're going to start saying is going to be unreasonable. That's what happens when we talk too much. You're going to run out of reasonable things to say. And if somebody got a mic attached to you and a camera in your face, you might, and I say this respectfully because like I said, Cat Williams, D.L. Hughley, legendary comedians. I know a lot of people might not know D.L. Hughley right now as just like a comedy figure because he has been in the media space at this point for the past 5+ years, speaking heavily on political things. You know what I'm saying? Being a voice in that way, right? But D.L. Hughley is a legendary comedian, kings of comedy. D.L. Hughley had the most sitcoms. I feel like when I was a kid, I feel like they was giving D.L. Hughley sitcoms right and left. They canceled the sitcom, give him another sitcom. I feel like they brought his same sitcom back about 3-4 times. So this ain't even me sitting here trying to pretend like I don't. This ain't me sitting here and I'm not about to put respect on D.L. Hughley's name, right? But I had a problem with this. Now I'm gonna put this out there. I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. Eddie Murphy is my favorite comedian, and I don't care what people say. Okay, so basically their argument was, and this is what D.L. Hughley said, in order to be the best, in order to be the GOAT, you have to be currently doing it. You are what you do. So if I'm a painter, but to pay my bills, I work at Home Depot, you telling me that I'm a cashier at Home Depot? No, I'm a painter. I'm Picasso out this. I'm Basquiat out this, but I do have to pay my bills, so I clock in at Home Depot. But best believe next time I sell one of these paintings, I'm not working at Home Depot no more. We've had this conversation. The world has had this conversation. You are not the thing that pays your bills. Some people, everything is in sync. I am a comedian, and also I have had the privilege of comedy paying for my livelihood. But that ain't how it worked for everybody. So to be like, you can't be the GOAT unless you still doing it, well, who's supposed to be the GOAT? At some point, everybody got to stop doing it, but whatever. I'm going to tell y'all why this pissed me off. One, what is up with people trying to change people's opinions, especially opinions on things that are not life-changing? It really blows my mind. When people be like, who's your favorite singer? Jasmine Sullivan is my favorite singer. Oh, Jasmine Sullivan. Oh, have you heard Janet Jackson? Have you heard Shaka Khan? Have you heard Aretha Franklin? Have you heard Beyonce? Have you heard Kayla? Have you heard? Hold up a second. I thought you asked me. I thought the key word was my. Who was my? There's like an ownership there, right? There's like it's me. It's not you. It's not. People ask your opinion just to debate it. Who's your favorite rapper? Well, you know, Jay-Z is always, Now, if it wasn't for Biggie, okay, I think I'm gonna have to leave this conversation because what is that? What is that? This is my opinion. It's my opinion. 2. I hate the conversation about who's the greatest. Like, oh, who's the greatest? Your top 5, blah, blah, blah. Because I believe that question is only asked so that somebody can debate it. No one ever is like, oh, name your top 5 favorite comedians. And then when somebody names it, they're like, cool, that's really cool. Well, mine are. No, they be like, oh, you like Kevin? You like Kevin more than you like Chris? What? It's like, hold on a second. Was it my top 5? Was it the top 5? Was it your top 5? Because I thought it was my top 5. But it's like they're simply asking you something to set it up for a debate. Could you imagine if we did that in any other part of our lives? If we went to the Burger King and it was like, hey, how can I take your order? What would you like? And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to do the Junior Whopper. You going to get the Junior Whopper? Why wouldn't you get the Whopper? Why wouldn't you get the original Whopper? Everybody know the Junior don't even come without the original. You over here getting a small. You know what? I don't even eat burgers no more. Like, I don't really engage. And people be like, oh, what's your top 5? I don't even really engage. And the moment I say like, oh, my favorite something, and they be like, really, you? I know Jason Derulo catch a lot of strays on my podcast, and I have apologized, and I know y'all going to be like in the comments, y'all going to be like, damn, Jason Derulo is not safe. I know. But the reason why I'm bringing him up is because you guys, we have a history now with me making it clear that I'm probably, that he don't appeal, his place in the world of music doesn't appeal to me, right? If somebody was like, you know what, I love Jason Derulo, I would be like, really? And they would be like, yeah, I just love Jason. Have you seen Jason Derulo dance and sing and blah, blah? I would be like, I have not, but okay. Now, I might have an opinion about them. I might decide we can't be friends. That's so unreasonable. But I might have a judgment. Like, I might be somewhere later like, oh, remember when you was hanging out with so-and-so? Yeah, you know what? I don't know. She was like, Jason Derulo is her favorite singer. And I don't know. I just, you know, it's like when somebody can't dress. You know what I'm saying? Like, they cool, but like, we ain't about to go that many places together. You know what I'm saying? What am I, 15? But I'm not. As much as I have a history on this podcast being like, that's not my guy. If any of y'all in the chat was like, I love Jason Derulo, I would not try to change your mind. Now, I get trying to sway someone's opinion on things that matter. It's my opinion that women shouldn't have a choice over their bodies. Okay. Well, now I got to try to change your opinion because your opinion can eventually become law. I got to try to change your opinion. This matters. But who somebody's favorite artist is, who they think is the best, how dare you dispute my opinion, my taste in artistic, you know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you? Last thing. I find it so funny, interesting. It's wild to me that, and again, I said Eddie Murphy is my favorite comedian, and so you could take this like, oh, she doing that because that's her favorite, right? And I'm not trying to change people's opinion. I'm not trying to change people's opinion. Like, Eddie Murphy does not have to be the GOAT for you, and he doesn't have to be your favorite, right? But their reasoning in saying that he wasn't the GOAT, that's the thing that pissed me off. Their reasoning for saying he can't be your favorite, that's the thing that pissed me off. Not that he's not. The reason why it don't make sense. You want to know why it don't make sense? Because y'all same two men and so many other people like y'all. Y'all same two phenomenal comedians and so many other people like y'all on a spectrum of how humans are made up. When somebody asks y'all who's the greatest basketball player of all time, y'all gonna say Michael Jordan. You gonna say Michael Jordan. LeBron can't even get the title because you still saying Michael Jordan. Kobe couldn't get the title when he was alive because y'all was saying Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan ain't picked up a basketball in years. But that's not stopping y'all from putting him in your top 5 on your Mount Rushmore, saying that he's the GOAT. Michael Jordan himself said it in the interview the other day. I ain't picked up a ball in I don't know how long. I finally picked up a basketball to shoot a free throw. I was scared to shoot. But he's your GOAT. I just don't understand how the same logic you can use for your athletes, you can't apply to Eddie Murphy. Is it because you were in the same field as him? Is that the reason? It pissed me off so much, y'all. I watched Vampire in Brooklyn. I almost watched Pluto Nash just to spite them. But I watched Vampire in Brooklyn. They got to be actively performing to be considered the GOAT. That just does not make sense. But also as accomplished, as supremely successful as a Cat Williams and a D.L. Hughley are, as undeniably funny as both of these great comedians are, how could them specifically not consider someone, Eddie Murphy, who has achieved so much? How could you not consider him the GOAT? He was in Vampire in Brooklyn. He did a horror movie. He was a comedian who starred in a horror movie where he played multiple characters, had on a press and curl wig, and spoke in a whole different accent that nobody verified. It don't matter how much, very talented and successful Kevin Hart, don't matter how much Kevin Hart tried to say he broke Eddie Murphy's record, there has been no theatrical released comedy special that has sold more than Raw. He was a bank robber. He was a bank robber that helped a cop. Then he became a cop in Beverly Hills. Then he broke out of prison when he was 90 or 100 years old after being framed for a crime during Prohibition. He was a donkey in a cartoon, and then he was a doctor that spoke to animals. He was a whole entire fat family, all while managing to release music with Michael Jackson. If he ain't the GOAT, who is? But you know what? Sometimes people don't respect you till you dead. And Eddie Murphy is one of them celebrities that was so massively successful, and he's still here. That's the thing. A lot of people have had these huge. They got this legacy, right? We don't know what they was gonna be at 50 years old. We don't know what. That's what I like about Chris Rock's movie Top 5. He everybody Tupac has a great legacy. Tupac and Biggie, they have a great legacy. Unfortunately, it was a early death, an untimely death, but also we don't know what would have changed about their story if they still lived. Those men that we feel like were the coolest, the best ever, they might be doing Tyler Perry films right now. They might be in jail for sexual, who knows? Eddie Murphy's still alive. Eddie Murphy did what nobody could do at a very young age. What nobody ever did before him. Don't matter how successful Pryor is, don't matter how successful Cosby is. He did something nobody did. Something no other comedian has ever done at the youngest age. And he's still here, looking healthy, looking peaceful, protecting his peace, and sitting back and letting them offer him buku money to remake all his old IP. Did I tell y'all I'm coming to Cleveland this weekend? Friday and Saturday, October 31st and November 1st. Get your tickets. If you're in Cleveland and want to see me, the link to the tickets are in the details of this podcast. Before I get out of here, we got to ask Z. Hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you want to see the rest of my show schedule, just go to my website, ZainabJohnson.com. I love seeing you guys at the shows. And like I said, I'm reasonable merch coming soon. So, okay, let's get into this Ask Z. We actually got 2 Ask Z's today, but I'm only doing one, right? So today's Ask Z, I'm going to just call her Bay Area. Bay Area Bay. Hi again, Zainab. First of all, thank you for the wonderful gifts you left me last time you were in San Francisco. So see why I'm calling her Bay Area Bay. Sometimes I will be wearing my hat at the gym and it strikes up convos with people. I tell them about your special and everything. So when I last performed in San Francisco, I left a hijabs off t-shirt and hat at my hotel after I checked out for her to pick up because I was supposed to send her one. I don't know. A lot of time had passed. And anywho, it's hijabs off merch. So I'm writing in with my Ask Z. I recently went on a date with this guy that was 47 on the app. After we meet for drinks and share hours of conversation, I go home thinking that was the first good date I've had in years. Oh, I love when that happens. Maybe him being bald gave me pause, but I left willing to consider a second date. You got to consider, listen, men going to lose their hair. It's very rare. It's men and women going to lose their hair. You know what I'm saying? It's all about if they are confident as the hair is being lost. You know what I'm saying? That really is the measure of a person. And I think more so a man. Woman, it's because, I think it's the same. It's kind of a double standard. You know, women, it's like, I can't be, but it's like men be feeling that same sort of like, But there's nothing, hair is associated with like femininity. You know what I'm saying? Woman hair and whatever, and what her hair can do and if her hair can grow. And y'all see me scratching this like this is growing out my head. And even though I say that, somebody's still going to be like, I just love your hair. It grows so nice. You got to just let people do what they do. But a man that's, that's balding or bald, it's all about how he rock it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? They gonna be bald eventually. I don't care what they show you with like George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all them. Those men are rich. They go to islands and pluck baby's hair and get it attached to their scalp. Okay, they gonna have hair forever. Don't compare your life to their life. Okay. Maybe him being bald gave me pause, but I left willing to consider a second date. Then the next morning, you left willing to consider a second date. Then the next morning, he reached out saying that he's interested to get together again and asked for my number to plan something, but also said that I should know he's not really 47, but 51. Okay, so 4 years. He said he was 4 years younger than he actually is. He went into the whole reasoning behind it. He thought about putting 10 years younger. Oh, okay. That's okay. I'm glad he ain't do that. He thought about putting 10 years younger, but settled on 4. He said he felt he was more energetic than someone in their 50s, so he wants to be better aligned with that lifestyle. And he wants a younger woman so that he can have a family. I am in my 30s. But hold up, here's the thing. If you 50, don't be throwing the other 50-year-olds under the bus. Just because you want somebody young and you think you feel younger, just say it. Just say, hey, I feel energetic. I don't feel like I'm in my 50s. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. But you ain't got to say I feel better than the other 50-year-olds. You don't know how they feel. You ain't in their body. Sorry, girl. I ain't trying to give you more reasons to unlike him. I'm just saying sometimes we do that. Sometimes we don't know how to speak highly of ourselves or compliment things without negating something else. We have to learn how to do that. Wait, I can speak in the affirmative without being without putting something else in the negative. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, for background, I date very selectively and sparingly. I might pop on a dating app a few times throughout the year, but it's not a big priority. I don't enjoy the app interaction and I get discouraged from the prospect of guys out there. So the fact that I left this date being interested was big, but the lying bothers me, especially because he didn't bring it up on our date especially since he didn't bring it up on our date when there were countless times the age topic came up. In my experience dating straight guys, that's an interesting specificity. But I guess you could be dating like bi guys, right? Okay. In my experience dating straight guys, I have come across multiple men using fake age in order to try and fit in the other person's preferences. Do you think these guys are being reasonable in falsifying their age to filter a younger demographic of women? And is there a reasonable way to go about this? Should they disclose right away, before, after the date, and does it matter? Do I try a second date with Mr. 51? How do others navigate these situations when they find out? Thanks for any thoughts and curious to hear from the Reasons community on this topic. So Reasons, Bay Area Bay want to hear from y'all. So make sure in the comments, y'all let Bay Area Bay know what y'all think. Should she go out on a second date with Mr. 51? Does it matter that he lied about his age? Does it matter that he originally lied? Does it matter that he ain't bring it up while they was talking on a date when there were multiple opportunities to do so? Here's my opinion. 4 years is not a huge difference, in my opinion, when you consider age matters in certain areas, right? So age matters when it comes to someone being consenting, right? So if we ain't talking about, it's like, oh, she was 16 and I was 20, you know what I'm saying? Or he was 15 and I was 9, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're not talking about consent, right? Oh, they was 20 and I was 50, right? 4 years is not a huge age difference. It's a big difference for you because you are in your 30s, right? But it's not a huge leap from his actual age, in my opinion, right? And so I would think of all the things. If there's nothing else wrong with, if you had a good time and he inspired some hope and some optimism in you in the dating field, and there is the only thing that he did was, not tell the truth, like flub his age, I think then you have to decide if that's a deal breaker for you. Do you get what I'm saying? Is it important for somebody to be 47 and not 51? Also, when he says, because I want to have children, it's like, well, you 51. See, a lot of men put that ticking clock on women, our biological clock. Yeah, it's slightly different in the sense that we ain't going out. We got a certain amount of eggs. From the moment we get our first period, we got a certain amount of eggs, and them eggs don't get replenished, right? So if we don't use, now here's the thing, a lot of people think you just run out of them eggs when you get older, but some women, they start off with a low count when they 14 years old, but they don't find out until they 45 or 35, and they trying to have children with Mr. 51, and it's like, oh, I'm having a hard time conceiving. I waited too long. And it's like, girl, ain't nobody told you ain't had that many eggs when you was 14, because that's just the way your body was made up. But since they don't care about fertility, and they don't care about women's bodies, and they don't care about women's reproductive health, they don't give us that education or invest in that when we are younger. So we find out when we older, and then we like, oh, it's our fault. And it was not our fault at all. So I think that's rather presumptuous of him to be like, because I'm trying to have babies, right? But okay, I'm still coming to the table with a very open mind, right? Because you said you really enjoyed yourself. So you have to decide for yourself. If it's not really about the age, if you really could look past the age, then it's about the lie, right? As you said. So I think you have to decide, do you believe this was a big lie or a small lie? And I think that the way you do that is if you are interested in this man at all. If there's anything, I feel like you are, because you wrote in to Ask Z. You said that you hadn't experienced, you know what I'm saying, a first good date in years. Y'all talked for hours. I was on a date with this guy, and he kept saying to me, I don't know, maybe he was like 30 something, mid-30s or something like that. And he kept saying, I mean, that was probably before your time. He kept referencing stuff that he grew up with, but I mean, that was probably before your time, because he thought I was younger. He thought I was much younger than him. And I just was listening. I ain't really feel pressed. It's just one date. I ain't really feel pressed to tell him, like, actually, it's like he was making all the assumptions. Yeah, because I mean, well, in, you know what I'm saying, in 1992, but I mean, that's way, but I'm like, I'm taking it as a compliment. Skin must be popping today. You know what I'm saying? It's not until I am seriously considered when I'm like, okay, this is like, okay, let's have a conversation. It's a first date. And so you have to decide if the lie if that's too much for you, if it triggers something to you. Like if you lie about this, well, what else will you lie about? What else are you lying about? But I think that that's a conversation that you can have with him. I think that that's a conversation that you can have with him. And I don't mean like accusatory. I don't mean like, well, what else did you lie about? But like, hey, you can let him know, hey, I appreciate you telling me this. And I understand why you did it, but I don't really, it doesn't feel great to me. And I just would like you to know that going forward. And I just want to ask you, is there anything else that you feel like you want to tell? Is there anything else that you feel like I don't know the truth about that you want to tell me? Because how he responds to you letting him know how that made him feel is also important to how you guys continue to grow in dating if you continue to grow. If you tell him that him lying to you on the first date or on his profile, if he does not receive that girl, he got to get up out of here. A lot of times we are scared to say how we feel and have these like conversations early in the dating process because we know it's going to eliminate people quick. And sometimes we don't want to eliminate people quick, so we don't ask the hard questions. We don't have the hard conversations. But how he reacts to you responding to his confession, it gives you more information. The dating process it's feeling, but it's a lot of information every moment. What do I do with this information? How do I feel about this information? All right, now I get to have a response to it. What is my response to this? Is this a reasonable response, an unreasonable response? And then how do they respond to that? And then if for some reason, as you guys progress, things continue to be mostly and more so reasonable than anything else, then you find yourself having milestones in a relationship. Now, here's what I want to say about online dating. That's the reason why I really don't like it. Because, and this is not me speaking bad against online dating, but the thing about online dating is it makes things a hard no that might not be a hard no, right? So when you swipe on stuff, you kind of think you got parameters and boundaries that you don't really have. I might say, I want to meet somebody that's 32 to 45, right? I don't know if that's a wide guy. I don't even know, but that's what you might say, right? That's what you might say. And then you miss out on the people that are not in that age range. But then in the street, when you meet someone who you are not thinking about and you get to know them, you get to decide if you're attracted to them. You get to have all of this interaction before you get their actual age, before you get these other things, whether they're dog lovers, animals, before you get that app information, and then you get to make a genuine choice, a response. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times the things that they stipulate on apps, that's not that serious to us, but we don't know it's not that serious because we've already set a boundary. That's my opinion. I think you decide if the lie was a big deal. If it were me, Bay Area Bay, I would be like, okay, well, this is how I feel, and this is how this made me feel, and, I just would like you. I would have that conversation, and how he responds to that conversation would dictate if I go on a second date with him. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is I'm Reasonable. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. Until I talk to you guys again, stay reasonable. Bye.